mentioned Donald Trump. You said you got that idea from him, branding, putting your logo on everything. You got it from Trump, or did you get it? Was that your own idea before that?
No, I used to talk about Trump all the time. Not I was talking about him. Miss Kewell was from New York.
Yeah, and he was a New York family. He was a Trump family.
Right, and also the one that was so long. What's the name? Well, all of New York, you know how they stuck together, and she always bring it to me in the store. She talk about New York and things, and we read the paper, and Donald Trump had always done something. His father had done something. I remember his father. I don't remember vaguely, but I know we used to talk about his father.
Yeah.
And when Don went away to school, and now he was a young man getting education, he dressed sharp, had pretty women, had money, and he had his name on the side of his plane, and he wanted his name on Rushmore, something like he predicted that, something, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, damn, I'd like to be like that.
Oh yeah.
And so, and when I went into business, I thought about my logo, because at that time, I don't know any black people who had a logo.
You were the first, arguably, possibly.
I don't know anybody even talk about it.
Well, I mean, you were in the entertainment business, so all the people that you ran with, the circles you ran with, no one did it. So I mean, and you knew a lot of people too.
Right. And when I was going to do my logo, I was going to do the T-shirts because I wanted advertising. And my friends, you're my ex-wife. What do you think want to walk around with your name on your back? I said, well, if you do it, die. So that's what I did. I put my store, my phone number, and everything on the back of my T-shirt. And every entertainer came in, I gave him one.
Yeah.
Like
you see him at shows sometimes.
Right.
You told me that
because
one time.
because you know when they had an album out, they gave T-shirts to us to give out to.
Tit for tat. Here's
right.
one for you.
So I did one for myself and gave them one.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And naturally they would wear it because they want to tell where they can get your records any damn way.
And it's a cool design. That's a very simple design, very cool, very hip.
And so and that the ring.
That same design, Harmon Weems.
My cashmere sweaters and things was right here on the side, and that's what I'm talking about.
And that's Harmon Weems, right?
Harmon Weems, right.
Williams or Weems?
Weems, Weems, I think.
Yeah, that's what
Weems. He was a friend of the Funkadelics.
Yeah.
And he used to bring them around in the car, and taking places like promoting. And he'd stop in front of the store, and I go into the car, they come inside, and that kind of thing. And so, he was an artist.
Yeah.
But he was one of the first hippies that I can remember. Him, Jeff, a guy named Jeffrey, I forget his name, but I describe the way it was then in the day. He was light complexion, had real nice hair. At that time, our hair was still kinky, but his hair was always nice, like Mexican or something.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he was a teacher. He was teaching school over in France, I think.
Yeah.
And nobody knew he was that smart. That's my point I'm trying to bring out. But he was one of the first hippies because him, Harmon, and two white girls walking down Dexter Avenue near Joy Road, near Claremont. And the first block there, just got off from. Anyway, they was walking towards the Canady, and someone took a picture of them and called them hippies. And that's when I first heard hippies.
Yeah.
And come to find out, they was all connected with John Sinclair, and they was hippies. And one of the guys at Kewell's nephew, fraternity, he made this ring, Dennis Chapman.
The LC ring you had,
right.
Iconic ring, yeah.
Right.
How was that in the 60s or the 70s he made that?
That was in the 60s, about 70s, early 70s, something like that. And he just did that. And they called hippies, and then we used to go down about the 20 grand at one of them old raggedy houses on a Sunday, and they would read poetry. And everybody had raggedy blue jeans and whatever on, straight hair. And
was the poetry kind of silly, or was it actually good? Was it competent poetry?
Well, I dug it at the time because that's what was happening. I was around that clique. You did.
Was it better if you were on drugs, or if you're sober, you'd like it too? You think if you're smoking pot, obviously you'd like it better.
Well, pot is not drugs, so I don't dig.
I'm sorry. Was it better on pot, or do you think if you didn't have pot, you'd like it too?
I suppose. I don't know. There's some people be in the clique anything,
Yeah,
but
it's just their style.
it's a fad.
Yeah.
And some people just like you wearing a beard. I'm wearing a beard. I wore a beard. You know, it's a fad.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm gonna ask you that actually. I wear a beard because I was in culinary school. We either had to be clean shaven or a beard. I'm like, well, I don't want to shave every day, so I grew a beard out. And so that's kind of how this beard started. And I got it back because I guess it fills out my face, people say. Almost like that letter that Abe Lincoln had. That's why he grew a beard out. A little girl wrote him a letter and said, hey, you look better with whiskers covering up your nasty face. He's like, okay. And I'm very similar to Abe Lincoln. I'm tall. What about you? You have a beard. Why do you sport a beard now?
Well, once that something about what you said about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, a little girl wrote him a letter and said to grow a beard out.
I don't know why it started from, but Miss Keywell was talking. We discussed that one time, and she said something about people like Thelonious Monk, artists, a famous artist. Lincoln was no artist, but he wore a beard. Back in the day, they wore a beard. I don't know what reason.
Artists did.
But in jazz, they didn't want to get a haircut. Like I didn't like to get a haircut because I don't like to razor. I like to look. I had it all the time. So when they had the natural, and one day I was coming down Hudson escalator, and a guy was going up, and he hollered at me from across, say, "Hey, did you get any money on the natural?" Something like that, because they used to tease me. One time, a guy in the store, and he bought some records and the change, and when the cashier was ringing up the shelf, he gave his change back to him, some ones, and I don't know what some. He said, "Give it to him and tell him to get a haircut." I swear to God. And we used to laugh about that because I didn't like to get a haircut. And if you notice the jazz musicians back in the day, he never looked like he had a haircut. So I mentioned this to Florence Keywell, and she said, well, a lot of times they have their own barber, and when they're out of town, they don't want to go to different barber.
And that's why it grows out?
And that's why it grows out. That's what she said about the jazz people. And but see, I don't like barbers. You go to this barber, he messed me up. I only went to about 3 barbers in my life. I haven't had a haircut since I would go to a beautician. She cut my hair, you know. But I don't like to shave. When I first came here, I got a Covardas. And I put some straightening in my hair, and when I go out the wind, it flew everywhere. So I didn't have my hair's thin, so I just don't never get it cut. So only one guy was cutting my hair, and last time I had a haircut, I think I paid him $1 or something.
Man.
And what would they pay on that for a haircut? No way, I couldn't afford a haircut.
$20
for a haircut?
Yes, sir. It used to be 10. Now it's 20.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I swear to God, I had no idea. For any kind of hair?
Just like a regular super cuts, bow rigs.
Well, I know things change,
Fantastic
but
Sam's,
I'm just
inflation.
Last time I got a haircut, it was in the 90s because I was living on Barnes, and Howard came to my house because he was a licensed beautician and he had a shop, and he did everything. He was a sheriff of police one while, and he was like his grandmother was married to my grandfather. Because when her husband died, that's how we met him, you know. And I came here. I saw him one time because he came to my grandfather's wedding, and he was in the backyard, and he didn't want his grandmother to marry my grandfather. So when I came here, I met him, and we got to be friends. And he was a beautician. He married a girl that I knew in the country, you know. But anyway, he came to my house and cut my hair. I think I gave him a couple dollars. I asked him, he said, give me a couple dollars, because he didn't do them at the end, you know. But I don't like the hair going on my back and my neck, and when it's hot like this, ooh, I can't stand it. But I don't get haircuts. I don't. I've had one, man, and I swear, it's just like this. It's It's the way it grows, and I don't like to prep. I don't like to do things like that, you know. But and I'm the same from day one. I don't change. I gotta be me.
What about the beard? When that started? Why do you wear the beard?
I think I don't know why I started wearing, but I've been wearing it. I wore it, and I had it in the early '70s. Been wearing it since then. And I cut it off a couple of times. And I grew it back, but I always had a beard. This down here, but it wasn't growing down here. He just started growing on the side here. Yeah. You know, I would shave once a week. When I shave once a week, because it grows so slow. And my hair grows slow too on my head. It's longer than it's ever been. It's never been as long. I can get a natural. When I had natural, I can get one because my hair wasn't long enough. It wouldn't stand out. Yeah. Wind blow it away. But now you put this, but back in the day they just put this stiff grease in it. I hated grease. I don't like grease. I remember once, this girl I was dating, she spent the night, and she had a jerry curl. And I woke up in the morning, and she's laying on my pillow. I want to strangle her. I swear to God, I can't stand grease, man.
Yeah, it's silly. It's not worth it in the end.
I know, but I'm just still saying.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you. I'm saying it's silly. Grease is silly.
But the thing about it, when I woke up in the morning, she was laying there and all that big old natural and all that grease and shit on my.
Left the stain on the pillow, a wet stain, yeah. Wet mark.
And then, but the thing about it is, I didn't think about that before. But I'm just saying I don't like grease. Yeah. I don't like greasy stuff, you know.